see your work. Completely
Oh,
blank.
the opposite.
What was his fight?
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
What was
it
his
was like,
fight?
like no stars, no anything. It's just,
What's that?
What was his next fight?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so we're behind the scenes right now. You're already recording. This is international. It's Hangwit, which you should be taking on the road with you.
Okay.
Okay, let's do the sound check. And I'm deaf, so he turns me up. And
Your headphones are right there, so if you need to adjust them,
okay.
you're 1, you'll be number 3.
Alright.
So we'll test that now.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Good.
Now how's your headphones on, right?
Fernando.
do we need to scoot in closer?
Yeah, maybe try this up just a little bit. And you got, all right, cool, we got them on.
All right. What a day. Craziness.
Don't mind me, I'll just be taking a little 10-second.
Who wants to go to the football game on Monday?
Really?
What football game?
The Las Vegas Outlaws opening. Opening game.
That's actually pretty good.
I've got awesome seats.
Really?
Hey, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, like
Those games
sick.
are fun, yeah.
The arena football. Okay. How soon?
About 3 minutes.
Alrighty. I'm excited here. I promised everyone I wouldn't dash this up too bad. I'm a relationship show.
Oh,
And
really?
Vegas Entertainment. So they're like, what are you going to say about the wife beater? I'm like, other than the fact that I'm wearing one, not too bad. Not
Looks
too
good.
bad.
It looks actually pretty good on you. You're rocking it pretty well, actually.
I think it's interesting that people only go like off of what they read in the media.
Well, that's what I'm going to bring up
Really
today,
interesting.
especially since I am media, which we defend a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I also learned a few things that I'm going to bring up about the other one. Yeah. Are we all in?
Yep, you're all
I've
in.
never had this much room between my guests. You usually have everyone sitting
I've
on
been
top of
working
me.
on the camera.
Oh, here I thought I was all lucky today. Everyone
I
like,
can switch it back if you need.
yeah, thanks a lot. You ready?
BJ's not really in the screen, though. You want us to closer, BJ?
This one is behind the scenes, but yeah, come on in.
Okay.
That's the big one that's we're
Oh,
filming on up there.
All right.
That's
Okay, we
something that.
Chavez is in fine, so we're all lined up. All right. So, just disclaimer, or you want just another?
Yeah, you should
Okay.
probably put a disclaimer. I've been taking testosterone shots.
Regular, adult too? No? Yes?
Yeah.
All right, gotcha.
We can cuss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's why he's putting the
That's why I'm putting the adult disclaimer on.
disclaimer.
Okay, I'm on down sound for right now.
And away we go.
Okay, you want to go live? Okay, if you turn around, okay, we're live right now. And you're on.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, I am Tiffany Masters, and welcome this afternoon. I know you all are used to, over after a year of my show, you're used to me giving you entertainment in Las Vegas, as well as being a relationship coach, with my co-hosts being dating coaches. Today is very special to us. It is fight weekend in Las Vegas. Of course, it's Pacquiao and Mayweather. Well, I've got special guests this afternoon with BJ Flores and we've got Jacob Chavez. They are my co-hosts this afternoon. That is going to be giving you information of what's going on with our fight weekend. As a relationship coach, you would assume that I am here to talk about, you know, the 5 counts of domestic violence against Mayweather and Pacquiao against gay marriage. Other than wearing a wife beater and maybe kissing a girl at the end of the show, I'm going to be pretty professional, but they are going to give us more information about what is going on this fight weekend. as well as that, can you guys give some validation about yourself in the fight industry? Can you all introduce yourselves?
I'm Jacob Chavez, as you said earlier. I'm a trainer. I've been in boxing for a very long time. The guy to my right is one of my fighters, BJ Flores, is currently world rated, getting close to a world title fight here. We can't really disclose that information this time, but I can tell you that he's a very, very talented individual and very knowledgeable in boxing, including myself. I spent a lot of time in Las Vegas over the last, 15 years. Very close with Floyd, very close with Freddie Roach, both sides, great guys, great camps, and I look forward to chopping it up today about what's going to go down on Saturday.
There's a lot of media that pushes you to believe a lot of things. I've really enjoyed getting to know you personally out here, and I really like to know that, you got involved with the boys club. You're not just a fighter, but you're also like really involved with other things that are outside of that, inspiring others.
Yeah, I mean, my first, I grew up in Springfield, Missouri, and I started at this Saratoga Boys and Girls Club in Springfield, Missouri. So I feel like I got a lot to give back. They paid for all of my trips that I took as a child, as a kid, whenever I traveled to international or to actually national tournaments, and they paid for everything. And they gave me the opportunity to really start my boxing career. So that's why I feel like it's really important that I give back to organizations such as the Boys Club.
I want to bring it all the way home today and educate us in Las Vegas. A lot of the girls, they don't know really a lot about the boxing because it's been the UFC here, UFC. I've been a big, passionate fan of De La Hoya. I actually got to meet him, way back in the day. I'm throwing my age out there, but I remember meeting him in the 90s. I've always been a huge boxing fan, and then UFC erupted. And boy, there's a lot going on in Vegas. This is the biggest fight that's ever happened. I'm curious to see if we'll ever see a fight like this again. And we're going to educate you going way back. You are friends with Mayweather. I think it's nice to, let's go back. Mayweather has been fighting since he was 16. He won the Golden Gloves back then. 19, he was in the Olympics. I mean, there's a long process that goes in for you fighters that go into this.
Yeah,
Tell me some more.
Floyd had a great amateur pedigree. He actually had his first fight at like 10 or 11 years old, but he won major tournaments at 16. He won the National Golden Gloves. He was just a baby, competing against 16 to 35-year-olds. So that was, pretty amazing. And he went to the Olympics. He dominated everybody at 125 pounds. Won the bronze medal. Should have won the gold. Lost to a Bulgarian kid on a ridiculous decision. And turned pro. Won his first world title in 1998 against Gennaro Hernandez on the 17th pro fight. And he's been a champion for almost 20 years, so it's impossible to imagine the level of dedication and work that would go into being a champion, not just boxing at a professional level, but being a champion for 20 years. So he's just a superior, tremendous athlete and with a great work ethic. So just amazing background.
Now, what do you think?
Highway robbery, that's what I think.
Well, I mean, he did lose that gold medal because of a lot of things. I mean, there were people that were retired out of the Olympics from that being stolen from him.
I'm going to say boxing better check themselves. I mean, I'll be the first one to say it. The scoring, the point system is lousy. They just really rob a lot of people. Roy Jones, Mayweather, the list goes on and on. And I'm all for kids and I'm all for amateur boxing, but it's very discouraging when that happens. And
do you feel like that has part of his ego today? Is because of being knocked down so many times, losing his father when he was 19, him going to jail?
I think he said it the best. He said it's been a driving force in his career since that happened. He just wants to show people what he's all about, and he had something that was taken from him that he felt he was entitled to. And whenever that happens, it just motivates a person in two different ways. And obviously, in Floyd's career, he's been motivated to do well. I mean, he's the best.
Pacquiao, it's happened to him too. He was peddling the streets for change. And then, he got his break in boxing and he's got that drive as well.
Yeah, I think Pacquiao has it's a different magnitude of motivation. I mean, he's got a whole entire country behind him. He's got the poverty of the country. He's got the people have just been so oppressed. He looks at it every single day. So his motivation, obviously, you could say he has more motivation, but if I have a problem and it's not as big as your problem, it's still as big to me as your problem is to you. So in my mind, Floyd still has the same, motivation and drive, even though it doesn't have technically an entire country on his back. even though Pacquiao does, they still feel the same way. They still have that same amount to prove. And in his mind, in Floyd's mind, he has just as much on the line as Pacquiao does. So it's all relevant to your situation.
Through social media, it looks like Pacquiao has more fans, as in more love, the godly thing, the miracle, the whole and it reminds me of De La Hoya back in the day. It really does. Like the Golden Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And, he went from being Pretty Boy Floyd to the Money Mayweather, which is understandable because of the whole, the management with, what's his name, Arum?
Bob Arum.
Bob Arum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he started off with Top Rank in his pro career. Bob, brought him out, and they had their differences as the promotions as his career went on. They had their differences, but now he seems to be doing pretty well on his own.
For you girls and guys that are unfamiliar with this whole industry with boxing world. Originally, he was with Bob Arum way back in the day, and De La Hoya was, being he was the number one star when Floyd was trying to be up and coming, and De La Hoya was, the number one guy, and that's when the ego is stepping in. Yes.
Well, I don't think it was. I think De La Hoya was ahead of Mayweather in his time,
and older,
he was older, and it was kind of like a passing of the
trying to prove himself.
So Mayweather came in, wasn't expecting to overthrow De La Hoya. De La Hoya had already established, a great career.
Well, he bought himself out of a contract for $700,000,
right,
and then started his own, and then came back and then beat De La Hoya.
That's right. He did, and he did it really well. It was a great fight. People thought, it was probably one of Floyd's closer fights, actually, but I think that that was kind of Floyd on his way out and Mayweather on his way up, so...
This is crazy. So it's over 5 years now, almost 6 years, we have been waiting for this fight. And in the meantime, it's been UFC in this town.
Yeah.
And
I think UFC is, if people can just take time to realize it's two different sports. Nobody's comparing NBA and NHL. Okay, you got two different sports, you got two different group of athletes, it's MMA and boxing. So if people can kind of see the difference in that and kind of separate it, I think it has a better shot. People have an understanding. Fighting is fighting is what they think, but MMA is completely different. You train completely different. You don't even punch the same in MMA as you do in boxing.
But as for a Vegas standpoint, I mean, this is a cash cow right now, and UFC has been bringing people to town to watch UFC fights. The Chuck Liddell, the Tito Ortiz, all that kind of stuff. It's really exciting to see this. I haven't seen this type of passion to come see a fight ever. My God, look, we've got Jay-Z in town, Beyonce.
Yeah, I think that UFC is more of like the street fight. So you got these dudes out there, right? They think they can throw down.
And you're a trainer, and you're saying this. I'm loving it.
They think they can fight. Like even any normal guy on the street thinks, oh, look at UFC, they're just brawling. It's like a street fight. They don't really get involved in boxing because they say, oh, it's more formal, it's more like technique involved. The normal person, I think, will enjoy a UFC fight better because they think that it's just like a street fight and they can throw down, and just start swinging punches when it's not the case.
What do you think Mayweather has been thinking this week? I mean, I've been watching every show that is put out there right now.
Right.
And I'm actually going to your fight party, so this is going to be really, really interesting.
It's going to be fun.
I feel like I can't choose a side right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's
is it Mayweather camp up in your place?
No, it's going to be hard for me to choose a side as well because they're both very talented and good people. And when it all boils down to it, and take all the personal stuff out, you can't help but side with Mayweather just because of just the talented, defensive, incredibly fit human being. Not that Pacquiao's not, but I think Mayweather's just...
So take me through this, and I've had some questions come in overnight from our listeners. What does it take, and you're a trainer, what does it take to fight like this? How many times do you work out a day? And is it true, and for how many hours, is it true that Mayweather actually chops wood?
Yeah, it is true that he chops wood, but I will tell you, I'm a trainer. I've trained a ton of fighters, MMA, boxing, NBA. I've trained a ton of guys, and nobody works harder than Floyd Mayweather. I don't care. I've been in every camp. I've seen them all work. This guy works harder than any human being, and he goes above and beyond. there's all kinds of formulas, training sessions. Get up in the morning, do cardio, box in the afternoon, run again at night, do strength and conditioning, weights. I mean, it's your job, okay? So you don't just go to the gym for a couple hours a day. If you're a professional athlete, it's your job. You get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, you got your routine, you eat a certain way. Then you go do one training session. You eat another certain way for lunch. You go to another training session. So it's a full-time job. It's not like just people wake up and go to the gym.
So how many hours out of the day is he beating his body up like this?
All day. He gets up.
Does he fight other people?
Yeah, he spars with other people. I don't know exactly for this camp how much, but in my personal experience with my fighters, we spar 3 times a week, fight 3 times a week.
I'd hate to get in a spar with somebody.
I mean, it's not a full-on fight. Like, we wear protective gear. I mean, there's certain precautions you have to take because you can't have 3 fights a week and expect to be, in physical shape, healthy, be healthy about it. But they're fighting and sparring 3 times a week with other guys who are in there trying to hurt them, and that's the best way they can come out, knowing they did everything to train and prepare themselves. Because when they get in there, they're trying to hurt each other. Period.
So one of the girls wrote in, and I had to laugh at this. She asked, "Is it true that they can't have sex for a week prior?" And we want to know if that's true. Is it true?
Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth.
And why?
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't like my fighters to have sex 24
You can get
hours.
closer to the mic.
I don't like
Do you see how defensive
I'm
this
like,
is?
whoa. No, I don't like my fighters to have sex 24 hours before their actual fight. This whole week thing, if you go to a doctor, he'll tell you that it takes 24 hours to replenish all your testosterone levels back to normal. So if I have sex, and I relieve whatever, and I lose my testosterone at that point because of my ejaculation or whatever you want to call it.
It's a sex show. You can talk about it.
Okay. If I do that, it's going to take me 24 hours to get my full load back.
So you want a bunch of testosterone going in?
Well, I want to be at my maximum levels going into the fight because that's how I get my maximum performance.
Manliness in there.
So if I have just had sex the day before, physically impossible for me to perform at my maximum strength because I don't have all my levels up to normal.
Okay, with that being said, do they push a wife or a lot of hot girls around before so their testosterone goes up some?
You know what? I'll tell you.
Is that why there are ring girls in there going, hey?
I'm going to tell you a crazy story, and I'm not going to mention any names, but there was one particular fighter who I would train who would literally have sex. He would do it, and he wouldn't come. He would just have sex, and then he would stop himself prior to doing that, and to him it would just make him angrier and
That makes sense.
build it up more, and he just was this raging fireball when he got into the.
I remember watching the show Dr. Ruth. You remember Dr. Ruth? She used to say, "Get all built up." Because a woman couldn't be with her husband and actually climax. She's like, get all built up and then go into the room.
I don't know how he did it. I tell you what,
That's awesome.
When I go in for it, it'd be really like, I don't think I've ever had sex and not finished my business, but to be able to do that takes a special discipline, I think.
Wow. I read this thing.
Right? I mean,
that's pretty good.
can girls do that? Can girls have a sexual...
Honey, they say there's 11 types of orgasm. I say 12 because, we fake ours. No, I'm kidding. Okay, back to the questions. Now I'm thinking about sex. Whew, it's getting hot in here. So testosterone, which brings this question up. There's a lot of this talk about why is it that Mayweather wants Pacquiao to take blood tests? What is that all about?
He just wants to make sure that's a level playing field.
What is A and B? What is all that talk?
There's a lot of ways in athletics, professional athletes that have been said to taking performance enhancements. There's ways to do blood transfusions. There's ways to hide steroid usage. And a lot of it is through blood transfusions. A lot of it is through you cut back X amount of time prior to the fight and your levels go back to normal. There's certain things you can actually take that wouldn't show up on a normal drug analysis. So Floyd requesting the blood tests and the Olympic testing for performing enhancement drugs is just a way of him making the
Well, I
playing
think
field
that's
level.
fair. It's an American thing here, right?
Yeah,
It's the United States
I
thing.
mean, I don't want to go on record officially to say that other countries are a lot more lenient when it comes to drug testing. That's why a lot of European countries, these guys are really strong and they can go longer. You know, they just seem like they're in better physical shape. But I think it's because of the leniency in the testing versus the United States. So Floyd is asking for a level playing field. Let's make sure no one is taking performance enhancements, and that's to me in my mind is not a bad thing. If it was my fighter going into a fight that I felt another guy was taking performance enhancements,
Well, don't all sports have to do that now? I mean, I feel like isn't it a common thing? You know, baseball players do it, NBA players, or is it that they have to do it right before a fight? And it's just a shakedown.
The type of drug testing they have right now is nothing like the Olympic format that Floyd requested. The blood work, there's really no requirement in any professional sport that requires that type of testing. So it's pretty open out there. Like that's why you see the That's why you see the Major League Baseball and you see other sports that come so much controversy. But, you know, I still don't think that, I don't care how many steroids I take, I'm not hitting 70-some home runs in one season in the Major League Baseball. So, I mean, I don't know.
Well, there's a lot of, you know, questions. They're trying to say that it's a shakedown. It's a psychological shakedown to him. So the promotion has been a nightmare, which is very understandable because Vegas, all in all, has not seen this type of like takeover here. We're even talking about the internet stream for this weekend. It's just going to be insane. It's just a big license to print money. The clubs are just craziness. I mean, there's top DJs saying they'll play for free. And they're saying nope because they've got mainstream artists coming in to take over our pool parties. It's crazy. Do you plan on getting out this weekend to do anything?
No, I'm staying in.
It's a great, like we're like the biggest locals, and you're really saying no, don't even worry about it. BJ had to step out to do a radio interview outside right now, but he'll be right back. They are estimating a $7 million in sponsorship. Closed Circuit is estimating over $12 million. What are you paying for
$7 million
in Closed Circuit? What are you paying for your pay-per-view? Wait, how much is yours? $150. I wonder what they're making commercially, George.
Well, I heard that they were charging some restaurants $5,000 per establishment.
Geez, so that's even going to go up because they're still waiting on their licenses.
Right.
I know some venues are.
Yeah, it's money all the way around. I mean, I heard that they're for sure plus $2 million pay-per-view.
That was just on probably our Closed Circuit here.
Yeah.
This is just Vegas.
No, that has to be, because we're pushing on the last fight $2 million, and this is way bigger than that. So
Absolutely.
I'd say $3-4 million easy.
This is just what I've gotten in our Vegas statistics here. MGM has over 7,000 rooms. It's $1,600 for the night there, each room. That is a quote from Scott Sabella. That's on May 2nd. The average room on that night in Las Vegas is $1,000 each. And then they go back down to $200 the next day.
They were only giving tickets away to some very important people.
Yeah, you can't even get tickets yet. This is insanity. And that's why we're here today, bringing you some information. What is the holdup? Why aren't they selling tickets? You've got to buy in at $500,000 or something they're saying over at MGM, and then you gamble. And then you can see where you'll rate to place to get a ticket for the fight.
Yeah, it started at $1 million. I heard. I guess
now it's at $1 million.
It was at $1 million, or I don't know if it went to $500,000 because there wasn't enough players. But it's a ridiculous amount.
I did talk to a casino host, and I said, "What are you going to get on this?" And he said, "I don't even want to be in town."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, why? Aren't you going to get a lot on this?" No.
Yeah, because a lot of players.
I don't think they're getting paid on this.
They're going to be really heated if a player comes in and it's at $1 million, and then they bring in any other players for half or $200,000.
So they don't get a kickback on this?
I don't think so. I don't know what their deal is, but I know.
Well, you wouldn't let me quote them, so I'm not thinking so.
Yeah, I don't think they want anyone to know how much they're getting.
This is just, Vegas has never, ever seen anything like this. And I don't know if we'll ever be, I think we're going to pop this cherry, and I don't see another fight. Now, will you explain this one to us?
Yes.
All right. If one knocks each other out, Then what happens?
If Floyd knocks Pacquiao out,
Or vice versa? Because I'm confused, and he doesn't know boxing well. We're trying to figure this all out.
a knockout on either side is more,
They still get paid.
of course,
Okay.
you're getting paid regardless of what happens in this fight. So if either one of them knocks the other person out, it's more interesting for a rematch because those big punches you can get easily clipped by anything at any time. So if it's a good fight and you're going into the say 8th round and they're both duking it out,
Which we're going to assume they're going to have a good fight. Can you imagine spending what they're estimating like $85,000 for a ticket,
right?
and then you get there, you get your beers ready, and you're all like, yeah, and then you're like, shit, what's happened?
I wouldn't be
It's
fighting-
already over with. I'd be pissed.
I wouldn't be banking on an early knockout. I'd be banking on a late knockout or somebody getting caught, mid to late in the fight. If that happens, of course, a rematch is interesting because you're going to say, "Well, he got caught with a lucky shot." But if it's same Floyd Mayweather as always, what I think would happen is it's close early. He figures it out, runs away towards the end, and makes it a boring fight like he always does. Because he's so good, and Pacquiao's not going to be able to touch him, and that hurts the rematch. So hope for a knockout if you guys want to see this fight again. Hope for somebody to get knocked out.
So we'll see a fight again if there's a knockout.
Yeah, of course.
So it's not by decision and then they recall it.
No, because if you knock me out and I'm Floyd, or you knock me out and I'm Manny, I want to prove that was a mistake, and I want to go at it again. People want to see it again if it's competitive and didn't get to finish to the end, or maybe he's going to get knocked out next time. The knockout is the best scenario for a rematch in a situation like this. If it's just a boring fight, it's an easy, decisive win on Mayweather's part. It's going to be too good for a rematch.
Perfect timing. We're asking what happens, you can leave that out, what happens if we sit down and you and I have our popcorn, we're sitting there, and come in a little bit, and we're sitting there and it's 2 rounds in, and I just said she to go get me another pop, beer probably, and somebody gets knocked out. I'm going to be upset. You're going to be upset because you just spent $85,000 on my ticket.
She said, what's the
Then
chances
what
of a
happens?
rematch?
Is it going to be a rematch? Are they doing it for money? Or what if they're just dancing around and could it be set up? Because it is a conspiracy that's out there. What was it? Was it Holyfield has been quoted saying this is a conspiracy to make money because the boxing world wants them to come back again. If you're out there and you're dancing around, or if somebody gets knocked out, this is really we're really curious. What happens then? So teach us something. What should we expect?
If there's a knockout, there won't be a rematch. I don't think there will be a knockout because neither guy has really knocked anybody out lately. And also, you got to take into consideration when you're fighting at this high of a level, it's not just that you don't have knockout power. Everyone's really good, and it's tough to knock them out. And Floyd, I can't imagine him getting knocked out. Anything could happen. It is a fight. And Manny, I don't think he got knocked out.
I think a knockout helps the rematch because they'll say, "Oh, he got clipped by some lucky punch. Let's get a." I think that's the best situation for a rematch to me.
Did they end up doing 50-50 on a paycheck?
No, it's
They didn't?
it's 60-40 for Floyd, and Floyd's getting 120, and Manny's getting 80. And
Wow.
that's without all the upside. That's what they're guaranteed. That's not with the upside of the pay-per-view. They're going to make a lot more than that. So.
I think Floyd said he was more like 180.
Yep, that's what I just wrote down.
He's guaranteed 120.
So you can throw your conspiracy right out the window because if I make 180, I have no incentive to lose my legacy.
Well, Vegas wants
I
to
don't-
see this return
I don't
for
need
sure.
I don't need any more money. I'm looking at my breaking the record of the best of all time, not taking a dive for $180 million. Forget about it.
But ego has something to play, in fact, here.
Absolutely, and that's why I don't think either guy takes a dive.
No way.
No way. They're both too prideful. They're both too, determined to win this fight.
But his name is Money Mayweather.
Yeah. Well, he makes money with or without. Regardless of who he fights, he makes 60, 70, 80 million dollars. He's not taking a loss for an extra, whatever it is. I'm telling you, his legacy is way more important than the hundreds of millions that he already has in the bank. You know what I mean? So it's just not going to happen. He's not going to throw the fight. He could lose the fight. There's no question. Manny's a great fighter, but I wouldn't bet on it. But he's not going to throw
If
the
he
fight.
wins, he can still have a rematch. Why? It doesn't mean he has to lose to have a rematch. So he can bring it back regardless. He's not going to lose to bring it back. I don't think.
The only way a rematch
But if
happens.
they come back, that's another $100 million.
Yeah, but it's not going to be the same amount on the rematch because all the intrigue of the first fight would be gone.
And imagine too, if something bad goes down, he lives here.
Mhm.
At least the other guy gets to go back to the Philippines.
Yeah.
That would suck.
I think Floyd's gonna buy the Philippines after this.
He's what, statesman now, or what? He's a politician over there now.
Congressman or something.
Yeah, he's
Manny.
yep. This guy here, yeah.
Oh, they're talking about Floyd. Is he a congressman?
No,
maybe.
no way. Can you imagine? Oh boy.
I heard he was running for
Mayor?
governor of Nevada. I'm not sure.
No, yeah, right. We went from good men, it's good versus evil. They're saying, I can't even imagine. There goes the good men to the bad men.
Well, you got to remember too this, Tiff. Like you got to remember that Floyd. I mean, regardless of what the rap is on him, of course, when you're in the spotlight for 20 years, there's going to be some things that come out negative. Nobody's perfect, but
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, Floyd takes care of hundreds of people. He takes care of his family. He takes care of his
And
family.
I've got to say, in the
family,
industry,
everybody, and people know that he's renowned for being a good tipper, for being cool to
Absolutely.
people. So he spreads the wealth.
he
You gotta
when
respect
he
that.
walks in, he always tips everyone in the industry with a handshake and takes care of everyone. And we're not talking just the hot waitresses. We were just talking at the pool the other day. He shakes everyone's hands at the front door, greeting everyone from bussers to just the front door guys. It's not like what you think. It's not what all media puts up as the hype. It really isn't.
And he doesn't have to do that. He's just a regular guy trying to go in and get some food. Just because you have money doesn't mean you have to give it to everybody, And he always kind of goes out of his way to make sure that people are taken care of, that he, have a good relationship with him. So.
And let's just face it, we've all had some problems with the ladies.
But you guys haven't. I mean, you've been a really good guy in the media.
I mean, I don't know about that, but I just know that it's very difficult to if you're continually having girls target you, and I'm sure girls target Floyd all the time. They want to be around him, they want to hang out with him, they want to be a part of his life, his career, and occasionally you're going to get some bad apples that are in there, and they say, listen, you're going to do this, or else I'm going to say this. Or if you don't
Well,
do
we
this,
also
I'm gonna
live in
break
Las
this up.
Vegas, and that's
Yeah.
a very, very hard lifestyle, especially in the media. People are going to want to put that stigma on you too.
And I know he's had some things come out in the media, and you know what? People make mistakes and they move on. Now, if I knew both sides to every one of those situations, then maybe I could make a better judgment on what actually happened. But I never call somebody out until I know both sides, and it's just tough to know both sides when the media only portrays one side. So.
Unfortunately, he's always in the spotlight too. But let's get down to the fight. What's
Absolutely.
What's that got to do with what's going to happen?
So
in
what
the
do you
ring?
two predict now? Because I'm going to be there at this party, and I was telling him I've got to kind of be quiet because I feel like I've been up in the Mayweather camp, and I don't. It's all about the sport. I keep telling everyone, think about the athletes in there. And I got to say, it's not like who's the bigger dick. It's really about who's the bigger dick fighting that day. Who is the better athlete?
Mm-hmm.
How long will they go? Who's going to have what the lucky punch is if it's going to be a knockout? They're both amazing, amazing men that came from a very hard background. Putting in there, and don't hate on them. You're the one spending the money on the sport. You're the one flying into town, spending $1,600 for a room that night and going to these events. So don't be so quick to judge right there when you're at home spending that money on this pay-per-view and throwing a party on these guys. So don't be hating on this when you want to know just as bad as the rest of us do on who wins this fight. And
Who do you think? Who do you think's going to win, sir?
yeah, just like I said, I don't know. I'm going to say this. I think the better athlete is Mayweather. I think as a person, as a woman, and as a relationship coach, I think he could have been a better man, relationship-wise.
For sure.
And I think Manny is a better man, relationship-wise, even though I don't agree with his views on gay marriage.
Mm-hmm.
That's my own personal opinion, and that's just what I have to say on that. Knowing Mayweather's father, I think that he's an amazing, hard-driven man. I think he's a great, great guy. I'm kind of curious. Isn't he going to be in the corner?
Yeah, he will. He will be.
And that's a great question, too. Are you still with Don King?
No, I'm not. I'm with Al Heyman now, and Al Heyman is Floyd Mayweather's manager. So Don King has been gone for almost a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Does it really have that much of effect who's in your corner when you're fighting?
I think so.
Do you think he's going to do a good job? Is it Mayweather's father is going to be in the ring with him?
Yeah,
on Saturday?
Well, the manager doesn't really get in the ring. He just handles all the business. And the trainer is Roger and Floyd Sr. And Floyd Sr. will be the main voice, and Roger will be there also. Roger does all the mitt work with Floyd, and Floyd Sr. does the talking. So that's how that goes, and that's kind of recent because Roger was the one who did everything for Floyd over the last 15 years until Senior got back out of jail.
You definitely want to hear it from me, but you know your fighter knows you, and you see things together.
Floyd said he never has wanted to win a fight more in his life than this one. And Floyd Senior being in there is going to be quite an impact because I'm sure he's feeling the same. So, I don't know. I think the better fighter, and especially with Floyd Senior in there too, I just think that, I don't know. I think it's going to be Floyd, but my heart on the other side would like to see the underdog. It's just my personality, the woman that has all these rescue pets in her house.
I mean, everyone likes the underdog, of course. So, the majority of the public will be rooting for Manny, and, rightfully so. He's a great guy. He's fun to watch, and he's an exciting and entertaining fighter. But, nothing beats the skills that Floyd has, and it's going to be a very difficult night for Manny. So, good luck to both guys.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see another outcome besides Floyd winning this fight.
Right. I've been saying it all along. When I heard Manny was going to fight 5 years ago, I'm like, Floyd's going to win easy. But I wouldn't say easy now. I would say decisively.
See, there's not one person on social media anywhere right now. By the way, this is the biggest social media trend ever in the history right now. Other than, it's everywhere. This is huge. And we'll be all over this, by the way. Hi, everyone on social media.
Floyd, if Manny's not careful, Floyd might even knock him out later in the fight, I think, because Manny's...
And you think there will be an automatic rematch?
I think is...
I wonder if there's a bet on that.
I think
Can you bet that there's a rematch or not?
Yeah, I think so.
You bet on the draw is what you do. I think that's the best way there would be a rematch. I think if Floyd wins, there's no way he's not fighting Manny again.
If there's a draw, there'll be a rematch.
He's not fighting Manny again. If Manny wins, then there will be a rematch for sure. But I don't see Manny winning. I really don't.
I see Manny getting knocked out, honestly.
I see Manny losing a decision. I just don't see it.
Because Manny's so aggressive. He's such an aggressive guy. And when he fought Marquez, you saw what happened because of that aggressive style. And I think Marquez is one of the greatest counterpunchers in boxing of all time.
Yes.
And now Floyd Mayweather is a better counterpuncher than Marquez. So, and he's a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger, and he's just a lot faster. So, you have a recipe for...
I'm sweating right now. I'm feeling the testosterone in here, and it's just going to get even hotter in this town. Wow. Any pre-parties, after-parties, anything that you're exciting? You're a big socialite in Las Vegas. Anything that you're doing?
I don't really have too many plans this weekend. I got my own fight coming up, so I'm kind of just focused on that. Just go to the gym and go home. And, after June 12th, though, I'll be doing some kind of party. But this weekend, I'm just kind of laying low, nothing really too planned. I will go to Jacob's house and watch the fight. And that's it.
So what's going on with you in your career right now?
Everything's good. I fight.
We're Team BJ. We're Team Flores.
I fight June 12th in Chicago, Illinois. We're going to talk about the opponent probably the next week. It's going to be a big fight. It's going to be a top 5 world-rated guy and a big opportunity for me. So it's something that I'm very excited about, and I'm very up for the challenge. I'm very, very up for the possibility and the opportunity to fight a guy who's rated in the top 5 in the world. So it's exciting. And just been grinding hard the last 6 weeks. Been training, focused. And, ready to get some work on June 12th.
Well, unless we come back in for another interview before June 12th, this will be the last interview you see DJ before he's world champion.
Yay! Whoa! Go, baby. All right.
I'm looking forward to it. So I just, kind of putting my head down right now and not really a lot to say. Just I got a lot of work in front of me.
Focus.
Yep. And just kind of trying to stay focused on that. And it's easy. I got a tremendous challenge in front of me on June 12th. So this is nothing that I'm taking lightly, and I'm taking my opponent very serious. So it's not going to be an easy night for me, but it's a fight that I definitely will win and can win. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Vegas, we know this is our local hero. This is our champ.
And I have to remind BJ, 24 hours is, like we talked about earlier, at least.
Oh yeah. Oh, we asked no sex before the fight.
Oh yeah, you got to go. We got to go a long time. This particular fight, whether
do you really believe in that?
Yeah, I do. Because whether the rumor,
that's what the girls are asking. Why can't you have sex before a fight?
Whether the rumor's true or not, I know how I feel whenever I'm done, and I don't want to train, and I don't think about fighting. I want to be penta. I want to have every possible edge going into this fight.
And sperm matters.
I think so, yes, because it's going to raise whatever it does. Whenever you have gone without, you feel it. and I want to feel it.
And you want to take it out on the guy across from you.
Yes, I do. I want to take it out on him. I want to let him know, like, listen, this is a sacrifice that I've been making, and it's here. It's not anywhere else. It's right here, and I'm going to use it. And like my other friends tell me that are fighters. One of my good friends, David Hayes, says, you know what? I go at least 4 weeks before every fight, and he's like, I don't care if it helps me or not. Just mentally, it helps me. And I kind of believe that as well. And I just feel like. I've gone both ways where I've been, sexually active before within the week of the fight, and then I've gone other ways where I've gone almost 3 weeks before the fight, and I'll take the 3 weeks every time. Now it's not easy, but I'm gonna make it happen on June 12th.
Wow.
Abstinence for at least 3 weeks. I'm gonna try for 4, but we're gonna see what happens.
That was another question that I wasn't actually going to ask because I thought it was a lame question, but I'm going to ask it now. What do you guys do to relax then? Obviously, sex.
No, I mean, not when I'm training, I guess, but I mean...
Are you relaxed after the fight? Did that do it, or do you just go have sex then?
I mean, it's not just... It's just like so many emotions going through your body after a fight. Like, if it's a big fight to win, like you got all your family there, all your friends there, it's just like... It's almost overwhelming. All the stress that you've had building up to that fight is all off your shoulders, so you can kind of relax and go back to being yourself. But the night of the fight is always a night where I like to go out with my family and everybody who's there, maybe an after party or something like that. Try to spend time with the people who flew all across the country.
Absolutely.
To show respect to the people who came and supported you. And then the next day, you kind of, hang out, go to breakfast with everyone before they take off to the airport or whatever, and spend the day with them. And then once you get back to your normal life, when you get back home.
Oh, that's really nice. Well, we appreciate you coming in. I think we need to definitely get together with you and start covering more sports and sex and bring more education to our listeners, especially on social media right now, because we're all confused. They're asking a lot of questions about boxing because they're so wrapped up in UFC because that's, for the past 10 years, that's all we've known in Vegas.
Right.
So it was nice to learn more about the sport and each other. And now, Team Flores. And it's hashtag Team Flores. Let's follow these guys on what's going on. And the name of your gym?
I actually have a boxing gym in my house. It's downtown.
Well, it's your
private
condo. Yeah.
It's not a.
His fighters live in this whole subversion program.
No one's allowed in. It's not publicly, gym. But there are some cool gyms in Vegas that we do train out. Fight Capital. I'll give a shout out to those guys, man, because my boy Skip's been over there doing it for a really long time.
Yeah. Well, we know that they're big fans and friends of Mayweather, and so we wish everyone a very healthy and happy and safe fight weekend. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're waking up in Vegas, and we'll be seeing you out at Hearthstone at Red Rock Friday night at 9 p.m. Get your drink ticket at the door and come have a beer or a glass of wine with me this Friday. All right. See y'all soon. Mwah.
Thanks, guys.
Wow.
Yes.
Sorry, I had to throw sex in this. I didn't know how G-rated you could be.
That was really cool.
It's a
Perfect.
relationship show.
It was good insight on the relationship show.
I'm still on camera. Am I dropping the sex?
No sex.
Okay, and we're off.
At least a month prior to the fight.
I'm going to try to go at least a
Really?
month this time. Yeah, at least.
Interesting.
At least.
I'm getting testosterone shots in my ass once a week.
Mm-hmm. And?
You are?
Yeah.
You're very low. You're low.
Do you want to box afterwards?
Want to fight something?
You want to feel any more like sexual drive?
That's why they're giving them to me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't they have women Viagra?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I heard
Got it
that.
all, right?
I wonder, that's a good question. If it's women Viagra, if it's a testosterone like that.
I'm thinking testosterone will work fine. Just make sure you.
We still have 161 people live. Hold on.
I'm going to go get Doug so you can come up.
On this, or 161 questions. Hold on.
You have questions?
Yeah, just a second. Hold on.
Yeah, tell them. We'll get 'em.
Hey, John, how are you? Mwah. Gonna let you guys go. Thanks for tuning in.